On this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast, we've got sick burns.
And catchphrases. Let's do this.
Agreed? Welcome to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. I'm Diana.
I'm Liz.
And this week we're going to talk about Season 12, Episode 19, The Future.
The future?
Yeah.
What's happening in the future?
I don't know what's happening in the future. We shall all see. But let's talk about what's happened in the past. What have you been up to, Liz?
So just living my Walt Disney the evil version of Walt Disney's life, I guess. So I was adopting some new animals. I haven't sent you pictures of all the animals I've seen this week, but there is a red-shouldered hawk that was hanging outside in my tree today. And I thought that was very nice of him.
That is nice of him.
That was nice of him.
You.
Is that what they were doing? I'm pretty sure it was looking for something to eat.
Probably. Facts.
And yeah, I mean, beyond that, it's just been animals all the time, and
all the time.
I feel like sometimes, like I love the pets, but sometimes I do feel like they consume so much of my life is just spent with buying the animals food, preparing the animals food, cleaning up after the animals poop, cleaning up where the animals vomit, finding where the animals vomit, then forgetting that I saw cat vomited in the closet, and it was like in a weird place in the closet that you don't see, and I kept leaving the room and forgetting the vomit was there, and I would go off to do something and I need to get a paper towel and go clean this up, and the ADHD brain would squirrel onto something. It took me 3 hours to get that cleaned up, but and it's probably had been there for who knows how long because it was a weird spot of the closet. Yeah, so I feel like it's animals all the time.
I mean, I can relate to that right now.
Yeah, you're I have the elderly animals and you have the young animals. So we have kind of this circle of life, both end of no puns intended, but the ends of what happens with animals as they are either in their elder stages or in their young stages, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's messy. It's so messy. And they're adorable at both ends and both stages, but it's gross.
Yeah. We're I feel you. We're living that puppy life. I'll be sure to. I know we'll need to share Socket with the world at some point, but Socket is our puppy that we rescued a week ago. So,
or did he rescue you?
Oh, of course he did. Actually, I say that we got a dog for our dog, and now we have to take care of it. That's what happens. But so Albus needed a little brother, so now we have Socket. But yeah, so we're just totally living that puppy life. That's my excitement right now. That's my world. My exciting date night of going to Costco on Friday night was derailed by walking a puppy around in the yard for 2 hours waiting for him to poop. So this is our excitement. Welcome. Don't worry, I got to go to Costco on Saturday. It worked out fine. But that's not too much going on here. I do want to give a shout out to our friends at Denim Wrap Nightmares podcast. We've been having fun on Instagram. So another rewatch podcast as well. So thanks, guys.
Yeah,
I know you love how I said that. You're welcome.
Yeah. I'm trying. I don't know how to respond to that voice, and so
I don't know what I was doing. It just happened. It just came out, and we're gonna roll with it. It just happened,
and that's sometimes we make choices, and you did.
Things just happen. Sometimes things just happen, Liz.
Other than that, so the boys finally dropped the first 2 episodes of the final season, and they were, of course, intense and great. And Jensen Ackles is still so freaking hot. I don't understand. It's just it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous how good looking that man is. But what was I? Sorry, I got distracted thinking about Jensen Ackles and how good the boys. But so they have also. There's this one part, and no, I can't spoil it. So go watch it. I'm not going to spoil it, but they have revealed that Jared. I just told you who is Jared? Who is Jared playing? Mr. Marathon. I don't really know who that is, so I'm going to full on give that nerd, like, I'm sure some boy nerd.
Throwing something against the wall because of that.
And I know, like, I also girl nerds can get upset too, just because the people who I know in my life who would know what Mr. Marathon is have just happened to be boys. So, anyways, that is happening. And did they say who Cass is?
I did not see that.
I didn't see that one yet either. So, but it's exciting. It's happening, and I can't wait to see it. I'm mad they're dropping it. Of course, they're doing it. They're dropping it 1 episode per week. So they did 2 episodes for the first drop, and then they're going to drop another one. So it's good. It's like waiting for real TV. So give me instant gratification.
And there's a really fun video floating around of both Sam and Dean. Well, Jensen and Jared on The Rookie talking about their role. And talking about the fandom. It's a really fun little clip out there on social. It's on in our stories. We've gone by then, but just you should go check out that. I guess they made some other cameos together talking about Supernatural. Super fun.
Supernatural fun.
Yeah.
I love it when that happens.
I guess I'm just peppy tonight. I don't know.
You are, and you're I guess you are drinking caffeine. Is there caffeine in that Dr. Pepper?
I don't know.
It's zero sugar.
It's zero sugar, but it has caffeine.
And some weird kind of chemical.
I did not have a Red Bull today, so I mean, I don't know.
So you have some less chemicals in you. That's good.
Yeah. I drink the Red Bull Zero. It's made with monk fruit. It's like vitamins, Liz.
I'm drinking a cranberry lime seltzer.
Ooh, yum. Exciting.
I wish I had vodka to put in it. I honestly do. I would dump a fuck ton of vodka in this if I had it. I just don't. I think there may be some in the other house. I just don't really. I don't care enough to go look for the alcohol. But if I had it would go very well with this.
It sounds like it would.
I wish this was like in a bar. Like when you go to it, I wish this would be my show drink. Like with vodka would be such a good hangout show drink.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I like it.
Get on it, bars. Make that happen for me, please. And they're like, you have to leave your house for that to be profitable for us at all. I'm like, okay, fine. I will. So near the once to 6 months I go out, it's not profitable anymore. Okay. So let's talk about the future. And this was episode 19 from season 12. It first aired April 27th, 2017. So seasonally appropriate. Mm-hmm. It was directed by Amanda Tapping, who we have not seen since season 8. And she did a whole bunch of them that season, including A Little Slice of Kevin, Hunter-y, Hirochi, Torn and Frayed, Taxi Driver, The Great Escapist, and Sacrifice. And then we've got Robert. It was co-written by Robert Behrens and Meredith Glenn. Robert Behrens this season, he did The Foundry, Rock Never Dies, and The Raid. Meredith Glenn did The One You've Been Waiting For, and Regarding Dean, and Ladies Drink Free. So both of them have been around this season. So to our recap. Hey, Kelvin. So there's Kelvin. Then there's Cass going up to heaven to talk with Joshua, but ditching Jean. Then there's Dagon and Kelly, who says she's Rosemary, complete with baby. Dagon promising to help her. That unfortunate fight with Dagon and Eileen, where she shot the young British douche. Then Sam asking about Cass, and then the cult.
The cult.
And that's where we start before we go to Kelly on a cot.
Yeah. And she looks terrible. And apparently Dagon is now force feeding her vitamins and talking shit because Kelly is so distraught about what this all means, that she's going to die having this baby, that she has stopped self-care. And by self-care, I mean, she's not bathing. She is not eating. She is just literally given up. She is deeply depressed.
There is no way you could have forced vitamins in my mouth like that. I would have just kept vomiting them up. Like, I vomit them up when I take them like half the time. Like, just because I have a really bad gag reflex when it comes to vitamins and pills and things. So this is like my worst nightmare. Someone trying, I'm just like, they won't go down, bitch. Like, they just won't. But Dagon says that her baby is going to consume a long list of things. And no matter what, though, he'll be born.
Yeah. So, and they once again agree that he's going to kill Kelly. So there we go. Ta-da. And that's all there is to it. So Dagon tells her to take a bath and leaves because apparently she's stinky.
So she gets up and she's talking to her baby and she's filling this tub. Is that with a hose?
Yes, she's filling the bathtub with a hose because she's in a basement, but there's a clawfoot tub down there for some reason.
There's a clawfoot tub when you put in a hose. Would you do this?
I mean, if you didn't have any other option, I don't know if I'd bother with the tub at that point. You would just hose yourself off,
I would just stand up in the tub and hose myself off. I don't think I would do, because it's not relaxing. It's not a bath.
Well, she was not trying to relax, we soon find. But
yeah, I don't. Why the water then, Kelly? Why the water?
I don't know.
Like, just slit your wrists.
Yeah. So we get they do a nice job of not showing the full attempt, but we basically figure out that she is using a piece of broken glass from the mirror and she apologizes to the baby to try to end her life. And she passes out in a tub and the water is bloody and there's blood on the ground.
And so we assume that she has died, right?
Correct.
That is the implication from this. And they go to a title screen and we go straight from that to the bunker. So at this point we're like, okay, that's the assumption. And we go to a montage of Sam with some sick keyboard beats and he is sucking down the coffee, right? Mm-hmm. And he's been reading up though on nephalim and making all these crazy formulas to try and figure out how long until the baby is born. And he comes up with this formula and that he decides that the baby will be born May 18th. So they have less than a month to find them.
Yes. And then who walks in? Castiel's there. He just strolls on in. And Sam and Dean are kind of annoyed. That's a correction. Sam's kind of annoyed. Dean's fucking pissed.
And Dean is butthurt. And when they, try and ask where he's been, Cass is just like, I had no bars because I was in heaven working with the angels. Mm-hmm. And he explains that when Dagon to capture Kelly, he thought that could help, but nothing.
But no help. Yeah, no help there. And so Dean's like, yeah, well, while you were doing that, we had our shot at Dagon, but whatever. And so Dean gets mad and yells at Cass and walks away.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. Communication issues are abounding here, although we know there is also some subterfuge, right? So we cut to Dean reading scanners on his laptop, and there's a knock on the door, and it's Cass. And Cass has brought back Dean's 13 top Zepp tracks. No comment. And Dean's just like, man, you take this because it's a gift, right? I gave you a gift and you keep gifts. You don't give them back. I don't know if I would call this a gift. I'm like, no, sir, please just take the Zeppelin back. How can you find 13 songs? Anyways. So, Dean tells Cass that they were worried and right now, and that's not okay. And he's trying
because they're family.
It seems almost like he's trying to communicate here, right?
Mm-hmm. And Cass, it feels like he's opening up and sharing that, look, I just feel like I'm failing. When you were gone, I couldn't find you. And then I couldn't find Kelly. And I just really needed a win. And so that's why I went there. And Dean's like, yeah, we had her, but they got away. And now Sam is looking for a way to resolve this without killing Kelly and maybe even the baby. And Cass is like, well, would either of you even be able to kill an innocent?
And this is where Cass is really stuck, right? So, like, either of you, could you kill an innocent? I don't think you can, so I think I can. And Dean welcomes Cass back into the fold and is just like, go team free will, and then he needs a beer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And wherever Kelly is, whatever house they're in, we cut back to there. And Dagon finds a clawfoot tub filled with blood and sees Kelly in the corner and makes the same assumption that we did, that she is no longer living. But when she goes over, the arms are healed.
Mm-hmm. She says, they wouldn't let me die. What the fuck? So, there we go. We've got Sam is like, wait, back at the bunker. He's like, what if we're going about this wrong? We can't track Dagon, but can we track an angel? The baby is technically half angel. Ooh. And they're like, well, Dean's like, that's a cool idea, but we couldn't do it before when you were possessed by an angel. And Sam's like, facts. However, the other spell we figured out was the grace extraction spell. And that did work. And they're like, it could just remove the baby's grace, and then Kelly and the baby don't have to die. And Dean is stoked. He's like, this is it. I gotta go tell Cass what's up. We found a solution. But guess what? Cass has left.
Cass is not there. Cass is no longer in the building. What the fuck, Cass? And we go back to the house where Dagon and Kelly are, and Dagon can't understand why she doesn't want to be the new Mary of Nazareth. Evil Jesus edition.
I don't think she's selling this well.
Oh, but it sounds so great when she says it. But Kelly does stop her because he's not evil. And she's trying to explain that, right? Like, this is not evil. He saved me. And Dagon's just like, no, you dumb bitch. He's only saving himself. You can't die because he has to live. And, you're going to die. And this is basically going to be my baby. Yeah. So
she gives a rant about that. Like, now we know the plan.
Yeah, and it's very fairy tale evil queenie. I'm going to take your baby and raise it as my own. So nearby, we see Cass has gotten there with his truck, and he's there with Kelvin and gives him the Colt.
Yeah, just Cass. Cass stole the Colt and gives it to Kelvin. WTF. Ugh. And apparently there's only 2 bullets in the chamber because he couldn't very well ask for them. But they're like, that's fine. We got one for Dagon and one for Kelly. That's their plan. So they apparently, they have traced the celestial pulse to a house nearby. And we see that Dean keeps calling and messaging Castiel, and he is being ignored. But Kelvin's like, look, Castiel, you're doing the right thing. This is going to have to help your reputation in heaven. And because of your relationship with the Winchesters, and Cass is like, I'm doing this for them because I want to keep them safe from Dagon, and I don't want them to have to kill Kelly.
So in the house, Dagon is watching Catchphrase, and the contestant gets it wrong, and she laughs, just like we often do when Diana gets things wrong, when I ask her things. And we are going to play our own version of Catchphrase. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube or on Spotify, and please like and subscribe those things, because that makes us happy. And my YouTube views are so down and I'm sad. So make me happy and go watch things. Yes. But you can follow along with my janky game that I made, because sometimes you have to go janky to make things work when it's 2026. But so we're playing a Supernatural Catchphrase. The way that's going to work, I was trying to figure out how to make that game work and make it work for audio too, since not everyone is going to be watching this. And so we are going to be doing a version where We're going to talk about a character of Supernatural's famous catchphrase. And these are super famous catchphrases. And we're going to be doing fill in the blank style for them. And you're going to, if you're watching, you'll get a hint of who the character is. We'll also tell you. So this first fill in the blank catchphrase is already up and we're ready to go. And question number 1, my people blank are rusty. And the character is Destiel. Now, what blank goes in there?
Skills.
That is correct. So Catch's people skills are rusty. See how this goes? All right. Mm-hmm. Number 2, we've got a picture of Mr. Crowley, and the catchphrase is hello blank.
That could be a couple things. Well, I was going to go with Moose, but I don't think it's that one this time.
No, I'm in catchphrase. I can do everything but not say the word. So it is the opposite of girls.
Squirrel. Oh boy. Oh, hello boys. Duh. Okay. Duh.
Yes, boys. Hello boys is Crowley's catchphrase.
I was overthinking it.
You are overthinking. Like, yes, which is what you're doing. All right. Number 3. Driver picks the blank. Shotgun shuts his blank.
Driver picks the music. Shotgun shuts his pie hole.
Sort of correct. It is cake hole.
Cake hole. Gosh, I know that better.
Pie hole would also, seems like a word.
Pie.
Yeah, I know. And it seems like it would be correct, but no, it is cake hole.
Cake hole.
So half.
Half.
All right. Number 4, we have a picture of Bobby. And the catchphrase is, well, blank, I am so sorry. Your feelings are hurt. Blank.
One of them is princess.
Correct.
I don't know what the other word is.
It is another way to say to cry.
Oh, I don't know.
Boo-hoo.
Duh. Boo-hoo print. Yes.
Well, boo-hoo. I am so sorry. Your feelings are hurt, princess. But you got half of that again. So these double ones are tripping you up because you're overthinking them. But we'll get there. We'll get there. All right. Number 5. There's a picture and it's Sam. And it just says, I lost my blank.
Shoe.
That is correct. Number 5 is I lost my shoe. Number 6, it's you've been, and then there's a blank, and then there's a picture of somebody.
Garth.
That is correct. You've been Garth is the catchphrase. All right, so you're turning it around. Number 7, we have a picture of Rowena, and the catchphrase, blank girls are pathetic. Here's to evil blank. Fill in the catchphrase.
I'm going to be wrong. The good girls are pathetic. Here's to evil witches. All right.
I don't even want to. I don't think I want to give you hints.
No, you don't have to. Nice. And skanks.
Nice girls are
that
pathetic.
One.
Here's to evil skanks. Yes. As that should be everybody's catchphrase. I think that should be on bumper stickers everywhere. Here's to evil skanks. And if you're cheersing in a bar, yes, cheers to that. Okay, number 8. We're back to Mr. Cass and an earlier one. And so this catchphrase is, I'm the one who blank you tight and raised you from blank. Extra points if you say it in Cass's voice.
No. I think, is it grabbed in hell? The first one I'm not sure on.
It is, in fact, gripped.
Oh, I'm way wrong.
I'm the one who gripped you tight and raised you from perdition.
Yeah, yes. Double wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Conceptually accurate, words inaccurate.
All right. So here is a picture of Castiel, young Castiel, and Bobby. And Castiel has a Molotov cocktail in his hand. And the catchphrase is, "Hey, blank."
It's ass face.
Oh, girl.
Ass butt. Good
Ass
Lord,
butt.
I'm terrible.
Ass butt.
I'm terrible tonight. I knew it. Oh.
You need more caffeine.
Failing.
I think. Okay, you have
I
one
should have had
last
that Red
chance.
Bull.
No,
I
you
needed
should
the
have had that
wings.
Red Bull. All right, last chance.
Oh no.
There's a lot of blanks in this catchphrase. The catchphrase is,
I know this one though.
I think he wants us to pick up where he left off, blank people hunting blank the blank blank.
Saving people, hunting things, the family business.
Hooray! It is saving people, hunting things, the family business.
Oh.
Not the opposite one, which we had last week. That was
we
a
did
doozy.
have the opposite one last week.
That was a doozy, but
I didn't do that bad.
You did pretty good. You did pretty good. And I think we found out that we can sometimes play catchphrase.
I got like a 60% there.
It's like a D, right?
And I didn't fail.
D is for a degree.
Ooh.
All right, so Dagon is having fun watching Catchphrase when Cass and the angels walk through the house. And the phrase was also the Iron Curtain, which was hilarious. Yeah. And Cass has cocked the gun.
Yeah, and he has it ready at the chair, but Dagon has poofed away. And she is on the move. He sees her and he tries to shoot, but he misses. And that's bad news because we know they only have 2 fucking bullets. So now we have a fight and Kelvin's like, Castiel, you go find Kelly. I'm going to fight Dagon. And there's a third angel who gets fucking killed by Dagon right then. And so Castiel goes to the basement and he points the Colt at Kelly. He is going to kill Kelly. While this is happening upstairs, Dagon knocks the shit out of Calvin and then runs downstairs to see that Castiel and Kelly
are gone. They're gone. And at the bunker, Sam is trying to reach Cass by the phone. Dean is packing a bag because they still haven't made any ready to go. And they know Cass has got the Colt now. And Dean has to explain to Sam the reason that he got that Colt was because it was under his pillow. That's how
not in the safe.
It was not in the safe. That's so. Dean just wants to find him though and kick his feathered ass.
Because he got played. So Castiel and Kelly are driving. And she's like, I know you came to kill me, but you didn't. So thank you for that. And he's like, no, I'm upset because that means I failed my mission. And I don't know what's next. We're just trying to put as much space right now between you and Dagon. So we've got Dagon has to psychically call Lucifer now and report in. This is, it's kind of funny to me.
It is kind of funny. And he talks to her from his cell and she tells him that angels found them. And when he finds out that Kelly got taken by Castiel, like that really pisses him off. And that's really funny. That it's just like, oh my God, like the world's dumbest angel has got my baby. Right. And Lucifer threatens to take away. Basically, she has been promised that she was going to rule like while she has this baby. And now he's like, bitch, I'm going to torment you. Like, you're going to go through hell. You're not going to get to rule shit.
Yeah. So I guess she was under the impression Lucifer had promised that if she made sure this baby was safe and born, then she would like be his partner and they would raise this baby like a weird little family. And he's like, no, that's a fantasy. You weren't promised shit. It's his attitude. And so she is upset and feels like everything she was promised is slipping away. And he's like, nah, I don't care. So, yeah. But we realize too that Kelvin the angel is not dead. He is alive and tied up as a hostage for Dagon.
And then, then we go to North Point Motel. And Cass was communicating with Joshua to get his orders. And those are that he's going to take her up to heaven. And that way, her and the baby, they're going to die. And their beings are going to go back to the universe. But they're going to be in heaven. And then that'll just be fine. right. And
Right.
the power of a human and an archangel hybrid, that's just crazy talk. And that could bring the world just like its knees. And Kelly tries to argue for the fact that we don't know that. We just have this baby here and it can be like whatever it wants to be. It's a baby. And Cass is just like, we can't take that chance. But then the truck won't start and he's kind of screwed.
Yes. So back at that house, Dagon is torturing Kelvin for info. And he's like, I don't know where Castiel went now because the plan didn't go to plan. So what the fuck? And she's mocking him, but she's like, no. So finally she's like, look, he calls her Lucifer's desperate, clingy side piece.
Damn, that was a burn.
Kelvin. And she gets pissed and then wants to know WWCD. What would Castiel do?
After she punches him through his chest because being a side piece has its perks. And I would be pissed off to be called a side. I'm very like, I'm a fucking prince of hell, bitch. So at the motel, Cass wants Kelly to stay out of sight while he Googles how to fix the truck.
I was cracking up when he Googled that. Okay, Cass. Good luck with that. And she's like, is expressing to him that she had lost hope. And she even killed herself. She slit her wrist and she died. But the baby saved her and brought her back. And anyway, so...
Yeah, she's evangelizing, right? And she's just like, so.
She's talking
this
about
baby, like, is like really good. And they felt the baby's pulse when he brought her back to life. Yeah. Like, that was such power that they felt that in heaven. And he is just like, holy shit. Like, that's not actually a good thing that we could feel like that. Yeah. But she's like, I also think this is really funny too, because she's so much of the, there's a plan for this. And he's like, I've met God. There's no plan. God's gone. Yeah. Him and his sister fucked off. Like nothing is left in the universe now, right? We're just winging it. And this Lucifer doesn't have a plan. He's just fucking sowing chaos because that's what Lucifer does. There is no grand design for any of this. And you were just there when Lucifer took over the president's body, which I think is a worse burn than the side piece burn.
I think so too. Though it's probably, both of them are probably factually accurate. That's probably a little bit more hurt. This is more emotionally hurtful. Like side piece, like, fuck you, bro. But like being like, you were just there. Like, oh, that's painful.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And she's like, yeah, but the baby could still be good. And Cass is like, yeah, but you still won't survive the birth. So who's going to take care of this baby then? What the fuck? Who's going to protect him from evil influences? And she smiles because the baby kicks and she makes Cass put his hand on her belly. And we see her eyes glow yellow again. Yeah. And we see a vision of Castiel protecting her. And then Sam and Dean knock on the motel door because they found Castiel. And Dean is pissed and wants that Colt back.
Yeah. And after he yells, that's mine, he slams Cass up against the wall until Sam gets his attention that, hey, Kelly is here. But they found him because Sam put a tracking app on Cass's phone.
Good call, Sam. And Castiel's like, look, I found Dagon, but she's, quote, difficult to kill. Understatement. Okay. But anyways, and then the truck broke down and he was just trying to keep Sam and Dean safe and keeping him out of this because it's my responsibility. I'm going to take her to heaven through the sandbox. She has to die. And Sam's just like, no, there's another way. Sorry. Remember we did that cool grace extraction thing? That could work here.
And Cass plays devil's advocate with this whole plan. And Dean is just like, look, it's a plan and it's just better than death. So, but Kelly is like, no, we're not doing this. And she walks out and because she doesn't want them to take away what makes her baby special. And Dean's just like, oh, right. This chick is nuts.
Yeah. So now they're standing in this parking lot in the middle of the wide open. And Dean's like, maybe we should all just get in the Impala and go back and talk this out at the bunker. And he gives Castiel the keys so Cass and Kelly can wait in the Impala while Sam and Dean stand in the middle of this parking lot talking. And Kelly cannot resist the temptation and grabs the keys and drives them off.
She steals baby. And she's down with Castiel's plan, and she's taking them to heaven if he tells her that's the way, because the baby chose him, and her baby said she needs to follow his plan. And Cass will make sure that the baby is born. So she's listening to her unborn baby, and this is how she's making her decisions. That seems like a sound idea.
Well, and yeah. And she knows that Castiel will guide and protect the baby even if she's gone. So he's like, oh, you shouldn't put your faith in me. Let me list all the ways that I have failed. And she's like, I don't know why, but we are destined for something great. Okay. Okay, Kelly. So we come back. Dean is fixing the truck. And Sam's trying to like ask Dean, like, how did this even happen? What the fuck's up with Cass? And Dean's like, he's just had a bad year and he's desperate for a win.
So he thinks that Cass isn't seeing straight. So still not agreeing with, like, we all think, no one's on the same page, but the truck is fixed. Right. And we go to the sandbox, where the gates to heaven sandbox, and Cass and Kelly are there, and they walk up to it, and she was just like, as long as you're here, we're gonna be okay. And the sandbox lights up, and there's a Joshua vessel, and that Joshua vessel was like, don't be scared, until Dagon kills him.
Yeah, because Dagon's there, and she's like, yeah, I tortured Calvin and then killed him, and I've been waiting because I knew you'd be here. So ta-da. And so Castiel pulls an angel blade and is trying to protect Kelly, but Dagon mocks him for that. She's like, oh, you don't even have the Colt anymore? And they fight. And while that's happening, Dagon picks up Castiel by his throat just as Sam and Dean arrive, and Sam starts shooting her a lot.
With a bunch of regular bullets, and it does nothing. And then she gets to Dean with the Colt, and she's like, you know what? It's time to take this off the board. And she melts it with her hands while
After she
Dean
broke his arm.
cries.
She basically broke his arm too.
Basically, yeah. But I think it's also interesting from a canon perspective. Like, this seems like a writer thing, like coming from above, like, we have had enough of this thing that can kill everything. It's time to take it off the board. And so it gets melted down. And that's, I think, is crazy. So now we have no more Colt.
No more Colt. That's very sad. Very sad. So Castiel gets up and gets to Kelly and tells her to run. But she takes his hand and she starts glowing, and she sends the glow up Cass's arm, and it heals him because he was all beat up. And then his eyes flash light blue, and then they flash yellow. And then Dagon tries to do the heart shock, like how she kills people, like hits him in the chest with this glowy hand thing. But he stops her and he grabs her arm and he says, call it a miracle. And then she burns.
And she does. And Sam and Dean are watching this with the mouth agape. And then, what was that? That was Cass and the baby together. Whoa. And Cass goes over to Dean and he heals him and he thanks him for coming to fight for them. And he's been so lost, but not anymore, because now he knows his child needs to be born, and with all his power, because he now has faith.
Gotta go.
And so he boops them asleep. He boops both of them, Sam and Dean, asleep, so he and Kelly can walk away.
Yeah. And they go to the truck, and Kelly's like, what did he tell you? I'm talking about the baby. And he says, he showed me the future. The future. And they drive away. And I really hope they left the Impala keys behind for Sam and Dean.
I think so. I think they're in the car.
I just thought about that at the moment, and I was like, better be in the car.
Yeah. And that's where it ends.
Yeah. Yeah. One just quick cast note.
Casting couch. It's the casting couch. Were they on that show that time with that guy? La 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 la.
Hosea is the angel that goes into the house with
Calvin and
with
Cass
Calvin
and
Cass. Yeah, and he dies pretty pretty fast, but he is played by Damian Mavis, who's mostly a stuntman, actually, in shows everything from Tracker, Shogun, Fire County. So a lot of things that we see overlap from other actors on iZombie and Van Helsing, but he's also been in episodes of Supergirl and Chesapeake Shores.
Cool. So what did you think about this episode?
I want to bitch about it, but I like it. How about that?
Okay.
It's ridiculous, but so it's kind of like ridiculous, and it's one of those ones where you want to shake the characters the whole time. Like, ugh! But at the same time, I think it really is like moving the storyline along. I think it's interesting. I think it's making for a good culmination of the season. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Cass is very frustrating though, and
yes.
his lack of, the lack of loyalty that Dean. I don't know if I was a Winchester, if I would give up that straight up amount of coming in here, like, and because the whole thing of him giving back the tape, all of that stuff. He was only there to steal the cult. So all of those things of where he's getting welcomed back into the circle, that's all a lie, right? And I don't know if I would forgive that level of duplicity, because that's pretty fucked.
That's pretty bad. You're right. I think they just have gotten to the point where they understand like Destiel's like desire to do right and to get things right, and even if it's misguided, and they've all of them have made misguided and
but there's a level of
done distrustful things.
Yeah, but there's a level of, accountability and responsibility and learning from your lessons and what you're taking responsibility for. Like, he's taking he thinks this is the responsibility to keep them safe. And so to do that, he does that by any means necessary. And even if in the end, it means that he's going to be disloyal and he doesn't, which is a greater sin to, Sam and Dean would rather get hurt than to have someone lie to them.
That's true. Well, even though they lie to each other. But yeah, no, I can see this might be like a step too far from Destiel. I see that with the cult, especially knowing how important that is to Dean. But
well, and now we no longer have the cult, right?
No.
And again, I said this is, a really good right. At this point, this is, I feel like, a showrunner coming in. I'm like, I'm tired of this fucking cult. Like, yes, we know it can kill. Like, why can't you just use the cult? Why can't you just use the cult? So that would just work for everything, especially when they got to the point where they can make more bullets, right?
Right.
So now it's an infinite way to kill an infinite amount of things. But
that's true. And that is old. That doesn't make for a great story.
It's a cool gun to have in a video game, but in a while, in a TV show, I can see where it would get redundant after a while.
Yeah, you can't, and it's like you can't have an unkillable villain either. You know what I mean? Like that gets old too. It's kind of like both extremes. You have to have some kind of a way through.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, no, I'm intrigued to see where this goes next. But I definitely see and agree with your point too.
All right. So I think on that note, we'll end it. Cheers, Dirk.
Cheers, bitch.
Devil's Trap Podcast is a Don't Get It production. Meow.
Devil's Trap Podcast is part of the Ship It Studios Podcast Network. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Devil's Trap Podcast, Twitter at Devil's Trap Pod, or you can email us at devilstrap@devilstrappodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave reviews, and share with all your friends. We're at all your favorite podcast outlets and at devilstrappodcast.com. I'm Babe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.